Those donations were meant for equipment that saves lives. Instead, I bought myself a boat. The words hang in the air of Providence Municipal Court. Everyone freezes. Did Fire Chief Bradley Harmon just admit that? Out loud? In front of Judge Frank Caprio. Bradley Harmon stands at the defendant's table. He's 52 years old. He wears his dress uniform. The brass buttons shine under the lights. His chest is covered in medals and ribbons. 28 years of service. A hero, a leader. A man people trusted with their lives. But today, that uniform feels like a costume. Today, those medals feel heavy. Today, Bradley Harmon isn't here as a hero. He's here as a thief. Judge Frank Caprio looks down from the bench. His face is serious. His eyes are tired. In 40 years on this bench, he's seen a lot. But this case? This one hurts differently. The bailiff calls the case. Number 2025 TR 84612. The People versus Bradley James Harmon. Charges of embezzlement, theft of public funds, fraud, and abuse of authority. If you believe that no one is above the law, not even the people we trust to run into burning buildings, you'll want to see what happens next. Bradley looks around the courtroom. His lawyer sits next to him. The man's face is pale. He knows this is bad. Behind them, the gallery is packed. Reporters fill the back rows. Their pens are ready. Their cameras wait outside. This story is big. But the front 2 rows? Those hurt the most. Sitting in the front rows are firefighters, 23 of them. They wear their dress uniforms too. These are Bradley's crew, his team, his brothers and sisters, the people he worked with for almost 3 decades, the people he ate meals with, the people he ran into danger with, the people whose lives he held in his hands. And every single one of them is here to testify against him. Lieutenant Maria Santos sits in the front row. She's 34 years old. She's been a firefighter for 11 years. She has 3 kids at home. She worked double shifts to help raise money for new equipment. She trusted Chief Harmon to use that money right. Her jaw is tight. Her hands are folded. She stares straight ahead. Next to her sits Firefighter James Chen. He's 29. He joined the department 6 years ago. He almost died last year when his breathing equipment failed. Failed because it was old. Failed because the department couldn't afford new gear. Failed because the money that should have bought new equipment went somewhere else. His leg bounces. He's angry. You can see it in every line of his body. Judge Caprio speaks. His voice is calm but firm. Mr. Harmon, you understand the charges against you? Bradley nods. Yes, Your Honor. You understand that embezzlement of public funds is a serious crime? Yes, Your Honor. Bradley's voice is quieter now. You understand that you were in a position of trust, that people depended on you? Bradley doesn't answer right away. He swallows hard. Yes, Your Honor. Judge Caprio opens the file in front of him. It's thick, very thick. Let's start at the beginning. Mr. Harmon, you were the fire chief for Station 7 for how long? 12 years, Your Honor. And during that time, you organized fundraising efforts for new equipment. Yes, Your Honor. The city budget doesn't cover everything we need, so we do fundraisers, car washes, pancake breakfasts, charity runs. The community is very generous. Judge Caprio nods. And how much money did these fundraisers bring in over the past 5 years? Bradley hesitates. His lawyer leans over and whispers. Bradley clears his throat. Approximately $340,000, Your Honor. Gasps fill the courtroom. That's a lot of money. That's new trucks, new equipment, new gear that saves lives. And how much of that money made it to equipment purchases, Mr. Harmon? Silence. Bradley stares at his shoes. His medals suddenly feel like they weigh 1,000 pounds each. Mr. Harmon, I asked you a question. About $170,000, Your Honor. More gasps. Someone in the back row says, "Oh my God," loud enough for everyone to hear. Judge Caprio leans forward. So you're telling me that half of the money donated by hard-working people in this community just disappeared? It didn't disappear, Your Honor. I took it. The honesty is shocking. No excuses. No explanations. Just the raw truth. Bradley Harmon stole $170,000 from his own fire department. Judge Caprio's expression doesn't change. He's a professional. but you can see the disappointment in his eyes. We'll get to the details. First, let's hear from the people you worked with. Prosecutor, call your first witness. The prosecutor stands. She's young but prepared. She's been working on this case for 6 months. The people call Lieutenant Maria Santos. Maria stands. She walks to the witness stand. Her uniform is crisp and clean. She places her hand on the Bible. She swears to tell the truth. She sits down. She doesn't look at Bradley. She can't. The prosecutor begins. Lieutenant Santos, how long have you worked with Chief Harmon? 11 years. And what was your relationship with him? He was my boss, my mentor. I thought he was my friend. Her voice cracks on the last word. She clears her throat. She won't cry, not here, not now. Tell us about the fundraising efforts. Maria takes a deep breath. We did them all the time. Every couple months. The whole station helped. We'd wake up at 5 a.m. on Saturdays to set up. We'd grill hundreds of pancakes. We'd wash cars until our hands were raw. We'd run 5K races in full gear in the summer heat. Why? Because we needed equipment. Because our lives depended on it. What kind of equipment did you need? Everything. Our breathing tanks were from 2008. Our thermal cameras didn't work half the time. Our turnout gear had holes in it. Our radios cut out in thick smoke. Our ladder truck needed repairs we couldn't afford. Every time we went into a fire, we were risking our lives more than we should have been. The courtroom is silent. People lean forward. This isn't just about money. This is about life and death. Did Chief Harmon know about these needs? Of course he knew. He went into those fires with us. He saw James Chen almost die when his air tank failed. He saw rookie firefighter Tommy Rodriguez get burned because his coat was too worn to protect him properly. He knew. He absolutely knew. What did he tell you about the fundraising money? Maria's jaw tightens. He told us it was going to new equipment. He showed us catalogs. He had us vote on which gear to buy first. He made us feel like we were part of the process. He made us believe that all our hard work was going to make us safer. She pauses. Her voice gets harder. He lied to us. Every single time. The prosecutor nods. When did you first suspect something was wrong? Last October. We just raised $23,000 at our annual charity run. Chief Harmon said he ordered new thermal cameras. We were still excited. Those cameras save lives. They let us see through smoke to find people trapped in fires. Ours were 12 years old. They barely worked. What happened? The cameras never came. When I asked about them, Chief said there was a delay. Then he said there was a problem with the order. Then he said the company went out of business and he was getting a refund. But it didn't make sense. So I started asking questions. What did you find? Maria reaches into her pocket. She pulls out a folded piece of paper. Her hands shake slightly as she unfolds it. I found the original order form. In Chief's trash. He crumpled it up. The cameras cost $18,000. But according to this, he only ordered $6,000 worth. And he had them shipped to his home address, not the station. The courtroom erupts. People are talking over each other. Judge Caprio bangs his gavel. Order. Let the witness finish. Maria continues. I didn't want to believe it. So I dug deeper. I looked at all our fundraising records. Chief Harmon kept them in his office. I compared what we raised to what we actually received. And that's when I saw it. Hundreds of thousands of dollars missing. What did you do? I went to him. I confronted him directly. I said, Chief, where's the money? And you know what he told me? Maria's voice rises. She's angry now. He told me to mind my own business. He told me I was being insubordinate. He threatened to write me up. To hurt my career. He told me that questioning him was the same as questioning every firefighter in that station. How did that make you feel? Betrayed, hurt, angry, scared. Because if he was willing to lie about this, what else was he lying about? Could I trust him in a fire? Could I trust him to have my back? Could I trust him with my life? Tears form in her eyes. She wipes them away quickly. I couldn't, and that's when I knew I had to report him. The prosecutor lets that sink in. What happened when you reported him? He called me a liar. He called me a troublemaker. He tried to turn the whole station against me. Some people believed him. Some people didn't want to believe he could do something like this. It split us apart. People who had been friends for years stopped talking to each other, all because Chief Harmon couldn't admit what he'd done. Thank you, Lieutenant Santos. No further questions. Bradley's lawyer stands for cross-examination. He's nervous. This witness is devastating. Lieutenant Santos, isn't it true that you and Chief Harmon had disagreements before this? Yes, about department policy, about scheduling, normal work stuff, but I never questioned his integrity. Not until I had proof. Proof that you found by going through his trash, by snooping through his office. Maria's eyes flash. I didn't snoop. I investigated, because someone had to, because firefighters were getting hurt because we didn't have proper equipment. Because the people of this community donated their hard-earned money expecting it to be used right. Someone had to find the truth. The lawyer has no response to that. He sits down. Judge Caprio looks at Maria. Lieutenant Santos, you could have looked the other way. You could have protected your boss. Why didn't you? Maria looks directly at the judge. Her voice is strong. Because I took an oath, Your Honor, to protect and serve. That doesn't just mean running into burning buildings. It means standing up for what's right, even when it's hard, even when it costs you. Chief Harmon taught me that. Apparently, he forgot it himself. She steps down from the witness stand. She walks back to her seat. Her fellow firefighters make room for her. One of them squeezes her shoulder. They're proud of her, even though this is hard, even though it hurts. Bradley watches her go. His face is red. His hands grip the table. His lawyer whispers to him urgently. Bradley shakes his head. Judge Caprio makes a note. Prosecutor, next witness. The people call Firefighter James Chen. James stands. He's younger than Maria, but he looks older today. Older and tired and angry. He takes the oath. He sits down. The prosecutor gets right to it. Firefighter Chen, tell us about January 17th of last year. James's face goes pale. His hands grip the arms of the witness chair. That's the day I almost died. Tell the court what happened. James takes a shaky breath. We got a call. House fire on Maple Street. Family trapped on the second floor. We rolled up in 2 minutes. The house was fully involved. That means fire everywhere. Heavy smoke. Heat so intense you could feel it through your gear. What was your job? I was part of the entry team. Lieutenant Santos, Rookie Tommy Rodriguez and me. We were supposed to go in, find the family, get them out. Standard search and rescue. And did you? We tried. We got to the second floor. The smoke was so thick we couldn't see our hands in front of our faces. We were crawling, using the thermal camera to navigate, except our camera kept glitching out. The screen would freeze, then go black, then show old images. It was like trying to find your way blindfolded. People in the gallery are leaning forward. Some covered their mouths. They can imagine the terror. We heard crying. A kid, maybe 5 years old. We followed the sound, found him in a closet. He was barely breathing. I grabbed him, started heading back, and that's when my air ran out. Your breathing apparatus failed? Completely. The gauge said I had 20 minutes left, but suddenly, nothing. No air. Just smoke filling my mask, filling my lungs. James' voice shakes. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't see. I was holding this kid. I knew if I passed out, we'd both die. I tried to call for help on my radio, but it was cutting in and out. The smoke was too thick. The signal couldn't get through. What did you do? I held my breath. I crawled as fast as I could. My lungs were burning. My vision was going dark. I could hear my heartbeat in my ears. I thought, this is it. This is how I die. At 28 years old. The courtroom is dead silent. You could hear a pin drop. Lieutenant Santos saved me. She realized my radio cut out. She came back for me. She gave me her spare air tank. She helped me get the kid out. We both made it, but barely. James looks directly at Bradley for the first time. That equipment failed because it was old, because it should have been replaced years ago, because the money that should have bought new gear was spent on other things. The prosecutor holds up a document. This is the maintenance report from your breathing apparatus. It says the tank was manufactured in 2009. The recommended lifespan is 10 years. This tank was 14 years old. Did you know that? No, I trusted that our equipment was safe. I trusted Chief Harmon to make sure we had what we needed. Did the department have the money to replace this equipment? Yes, we raised $31,000 just 6 months before. Chief said he was going to order new SCBA units. Self-contained breathing apparatus. He showed us the models. He asked for our input. We thought it was happening. James' voice gets louder, but it never did, because Chief Harmon took that money. He took it, and he bought himself things while we risked our lives with equipment that could kill us. Bradley shifts in his seat. He looks down. He can't meet James' eyes. What happened to the child you rescued? He survived. His name is Marcus. He's 6 now. His mom brings him by the station sometimes to say thank you. Every time I see him, I think about how close we both came to dying, how my equipment failed me. How if Lieutenant Santos had been 30 seconds slower, neither of us would be here. Thank you, Firefighter Chen. The lawyer doesn't even try to cross-examine. What could he possibly say? James walks back to his seat. His fellow firefighters pat his back. One of them is crying quietly. Judge Caprio watches all of this. His face is grave. He's dealt with theft before. But this is different. This is someone who stole from the people who trusted him most. The prosecutor stands again. Your Honor, we have 17 more firefighters ready to testify. Each one has a similar story. Equipment that failed. Gear that was too old. Close calls that could have been prevented. But I think the picture is clear. Instead, I'd like to present the financial evidence. Proceed. The prosecutor approaches with a stack of documents. Your Honor, these are bank statements from 3 separate accounts held by Bradley Harmon. Over the past 5 years, these accounts show deposits totaling $170,000. Each deposit corresponds exactly with a fundraising event at Station 7. She hands copies to the judge and the defense attorney. We traced these funds. Here's what Mr. Harmon bought with money meant to save lives. She puts up a photo on the screen. It's a boat, a nice boat, a very nice boat. This is a 26-foot cabin cruiser. Purchase price, $47,000. Bought in June 2021, 3 weeks after Station 7 raised $51,000 at their annual charity gala. Murmurs fill the courtroom. Bradley's face is bright red now. Another photo, a backyard pool. In-ground pool with hot tub. Cost, $38,000. Installed in August 2022, 1 month after Station 7 raised $42,000 at their Pancake Breakfast fundraiser series. Another photo, a motorcycle. Harley-Davidson Road Glide, $29,000. Purchased in April 2023, 2 weeks after Station 7's charity run raised $33,000. The photos keep coming. A home theater system, $12,000. New furniture, $15,000. A trip to Hawaii, $8,000. A designer watch collection, $11,000. On and on and on. Each photo is another slap in the face. Each purchase is another betrayal. While his firefighters risked their lives with broken equipment, Bradley Harmon was living large. Someone in the gallery stands up. It's an older man. He's wearing a Station 7 t-shirt. I donated to that charity run. He shouts, my wife and I gave $500. We thought we were helping keep firefighters safe. You bought a motorcycle? Judge Caprio bangs his gavel. Sir, please sit down. I understand your anger, but you need to remain calm. The man sits, but he's shaking with rage. His wife next to him is crying. The prosecutor continues, we interviewed donors. People on fixed incomes who gave $20 they could barely afford. Single parents who donated instead of buying groceries. Kids who gave their birthday money. A 10-year-old girl gave $47 she'd saved from her allowance. She wrote a note with her donation. It said, please buy something to keep the firefighters safe. They saved my grandma. The prosecutor's voice cracks slightly. She composes herself. That little girl's $47 is part of the $170,000 that bought a boat, a pool, a motorcycle, toys for a grown man who already had everything. Judge Caprio closes his eyes briefly. When he opens them, they're hard. Mr. Harmon, do you have anything to say? Bradley's lawyer grabs his arm. Don't, he whispers urgently. But Bradley shakes him off. He stands. Your Honor, I know what I did was wrong. Sit down, Bradley, his lawyer hisses. Bradley ignores him. Those donations were meant for equipment that saves lives. Instead, I bought myself things I didn't need. I told myself I deserved them. I told myself I'd worked hard for 28 years. I told myself the city didn't pay me enough. I told myself I'd earned a little extra. He looks around the courtroom, at the reporters, at the donors, at his firefighters. But I was lying to myself, just like I lied to all of you. I didn't earn that money. You raised it. You donated it. You trusted me with it. And I betrayed that trust in the worst possible way. Judge Caprio's eyebrows raised slightly. This is unusual. Most defendants try to make excuses. Bradley is just admitting everything. I can't take it back. I can't undo what I did. James almost died because of my greed. Tommy got burned. Maria lost faith in someone she looked up to. The whole station fell apart. And the community that loved us and supported us, I stole from them. Bradley's voice breaks. I was supposed to be a leader. I was supposed to be someone people could count on. Instead, I became the kind of person I spent my whole career protecting people from. A thief, a liar, a coward. He sits back down. His lawyer looks like he wants to scream. You never admit guilt like that. Never. But Bradley just did. The courtroom is buzzing. Reporters are scribbling frantically. The firefighters in the front rows look stunned. They didn't expect this. Judge Caprio studies Bradley for a long moment. Mr. Harmon, do you know why I became a judge? Bradley looks up. No, Your Honor. Because I believe in justice. Real justice. The kind that holds people accountable but also gives them a chance to make things right. I've been on this bench for 40 years. I've seen every kind of crime. Every kind of criminal. Some people make mistakes. Some people make bad choices because they're desperate or scared or angry. And some people, Mr. Harmon, betray the people who trust them most. Judge Caprio stands. He walks to the front of his bench. This is personal now. You weren't some stranger who broke into the fire station and stole equipment. You were their chief, their leader, the person they looked to for guidance and protection. When they ran into fires, they trusted you to make sure they had the gear they needed to survive. When the community donated money, they trusted you to use it right. You didn't just steal money, Mr. Harmon. You stole trust. You stole safety. You stole peace of mind. Bradley's head drops. His shoulders shake. He's crying now. Do you know what Lieutenant Santos did after she reported you? She stayed in the department. She still runs into fires. She still puts her life on the line. But now she has to do it knowing that the people above her might not have her back. Do you know what Firefighter Chen does? He checks his equipment 3 times before every call. He has nightmares about suffocating in smoke. He sees a therapist once a week. Do you know what the rookie, Tommy Rodriguez, does? He quit. He left the department, said he couldn't trust the system anymore. A good firefighter gone because of you. Judge Caprio's voice rises. And do you know what the community does now? They think twice before donating. They wonder if their money will actually help or just buy someone a new toy. You didn't just steal from your firefighters, Mr. Harmon. You stole from every future firefighter who won't get the support they need because donors don't trust anymore. The judge walks back to his bench. He sits down heavily. You stood up here and admitted what you did. That takes courage. But courage doesn't erase harm. Apologies don't bring back trust. Words don't save lives. He opens a folder. The prosecution has recommended a sentence. Let me read it. 24 months in state prison. Full restitution of $170,000. Permanent ban from public service. Loss of pension. The firefighters lean forward. Is that enough? For what he did, is that enough? Judge Caprio looks at the recommendation. He looks at Bradley. He looks at the firefighters. This recommendation is fair. It follows the sentencing guidelines. It punishes the crime. He pauses. But I don't think it addresses the harm. Everyone holds their breath. What does that mean? Mr. Harmon, stand up. Bradley stands. His legs shake. His hands tremble. You're going to pay back every penny. That's non-negotiable. $170,000 plus interest. I don't care if it takes you the rest of your life. You're going to set up a payment plan, and every month without fail, you're going to make a payment. That money will go directly back to Station 7's equipment fund. It will be managed by an independent board, not by anyone in the fire department. The community will be able to see every purchase, every receipt, every decision. Transparency, something you should have practiced from the start. Yes, Your Honor. You're going to lose your pension, 28 years of service. Gone, because you forfeited that right when you stole from your own people. You'll get back what you personally contributed, nothing more. No steady contribution, no benefits, nothing. Bradley nods. Tears stream down his face. You're permanently banned from any public service job. No fire departments, no police departments, no government positions. You will never again be in a position of public trust. I understand, Your Honor. But here's where I'm going to differ from the prosecution's recommendation. I'm not sending you to prison, not yet. The prosecutor stands up. Your Honor. Judge Caprio raises his hand. Let me finish. Mr. Harmon, I'm sentencing you to 5 years of probation. Supervised probation. You'll check in weekly. You'll submit to random drug tests. You'll follow every rule to the letter. And if you violate even once, you'll serve the full 24 months in prison. No second chances. Thank you, Your Honor. Don't thank me yet, because here's the catch. You're going to complete 2,500 hours of community service. That's not a typo. 2,500 hours. Do the math. That's more than a year of full-time work. And you're not going to do just any community service. You're going to do it in a very specific way. Judge Caprio leans forward. Every Saturday and Sunday for the next 3 years, you're going to report to Station 7. You're going to arrive at 6 a.m. You're going to clean the station, mop the floors, scrub the toilets, wash the trucks, polish the equipment. Whatever needs doing, you're going to do the jobs that nobody else wants to do. Bradley's eyes widen. Your Honor, I'm not done. You're going to do this under the supervision of Lieutenant Maria Santos, the woman you called a liar, the woman you tried to discredit. She's going to be your supervisor. She's going to sign your timesheets. She's going to verify your work. And if she says you didn't do a good enough job, you're going to do it again. Maria's jaw drops. She didn't expect this. You're also going to attend every single fundraising event that Station 7 holds. Every pancake breakfast. Every car wash. Every charity run. You're going to show up in plain clothes with a vest that says Court-Ordered Community Service on the back. You're going to work those events, set up tables, flip pancakes, dry cars, pick up trash, and you're going to watch the community donate money. You're going to see their generosity. You're going to see their trust in firefighters, and you're going to remember what you did to that trust. The courtroom is silent. This punishment is brutal. Not physically, but emotionally, psychologically. Bradley is going to have to face his victims every single week for 3 years. There's more. You're going to write letters, personal letters, to every single person who donated during the 5 years you were stealing. We have 1,847 donor names on file. That's 1,847 letters you're going to write, by hand, no typing, no copy and paste. Each letter will be unique. Each letter will explain what you did with their money. Each letter will apologize. Each letter will tell them how much you're paying back. And Lieutenant Santos is going to review every single letter before it gets mailed. Bradley's face is white. This is humiliation on a massive scale. You're also going to speak. Once a month for the next 3 years, you're going to give talks. To Fire Academy cadets, to high school students interested in public service, to community groups, you're going to tell your story. You're going to explain how you justified stealing. You're going to talk about the consequences. You're going to be a living example of what not to do. And every single speech is going to be recorded and posted online for anyone to watch. Judge Caprio stands again. He looks down at Bradley. Do you understand why I'm doing this, Mr. Harmon? No, Your Honor. Because prison is easy. You go in, you serve your time. You come out, you move on. Maybe you learn something. Maybe you don't. But this is going to force you to confront what you did every single day. You're going to see the people you hurt. You're going to hear their stories. You're going to watch them rebuild what you destroyed. And maybe, just maybe, you'll understand the weight of betrayal. Bradley can barely stand. His lawyer supports him by the elbow. I'm also going to require something else. You're going to undergo a full psychological evaluation. We're going to figure out why you did this. Was it greed? Was it entitlement? Was it something deeper? And once we know, you're going to get treatment, therapy, counseling, whatever it takes. Because I don't want you to just pay back money. I want you to become a better person. Judge Caprio sits back down. Finally, I'm ordering a special condition. For the next 3 years, you're going to maintain a video diary. Once a week, you're going to record yourself talking about the community service you did that week, what you learned, how you felt, how the firefighters treated you, how donors reacted to you at fundraising events. You're going to be honest. You're going to be vulnerable. And at the end of 3 years, we're going to review all of those videos. The court, the firefighters, the donors. Everyone will see your journey, and then we'll decide if you've actually changed. He bangs his gavel once. That's my sentence. Mr. Harmon, do you accept these terms? Bradley looks at his lawyer. His lawyer shrugs. He has no advice here. This is up to Bradley. Your Honor, can I ask a question? Go ahead. What if the firefighters don't want me there? What if they refuse to work with me? Judge Caprio looks at the firefighters in the front rows. Lieutenant Santos, would you be willing to supervise Mr. Harmon's community service? Maria stands slowly. She looks at her fellow firefighters. They nod at her. Some look angry. Some look sad. But they trust her decision. She turns to the judge. Yes, Your Honor, I'll do it. Why? Judge Caprio asks. After everything he did to you. Maria's voice is steady. Because someone needs to. Because if we turn our backs on him, we're no better than he was. And because maybe, just maybe, he can learn from this. Maybe 3 years of facing us every week will teach him what 28 years in the department didn't. She looks at Bradley. But understand this, Chief. I'm not doing this for you. I'm doing this for everyone you hurt. I'm doing this so they can see that justice isn't just about punishment. It's about accountability. It's about making things right. And if you show up every week and put in the work, if you write those letters and give those speeches and actually try to change, then maybe some good can come from this mess. Bradley nods. He can't speak. His throat is too tight with emotion. Judge Caprio watches this exchange. Mr. Harmon, I'll ask you one more time. Do you accept these terms? Yes, Your Honor, I accept. Then this court is adjourned. You start your community service next Saturday at 6 a.m. Don't be late. The gavel bangs. It's over. The courtroom erupts. Reporters rush for the doors to file their stories. Donors in the back rows hug each other. Some are crying. Some are angry that Bradley isn't going to prison, but most seem satisfied. This punishment fits the crime in a way prison never could. The firefighters stand. They form a line. One by one, they file past Bradley. Some glare at him. Some shake their heads. One spits on the ground near his feet, but Maria stops them. That's enough, she says firmly. This isn't about revenge. It's about justice. She turns to Bradley. Saturday, 6 a.m. Don't make me come find you. I'll be there, Bradley whispers. The firefighters leave together, united, stronger than before. They survived betrayal. They stood up for what was right. They testified against someone they once respected. That took courage. That took strength. Bradley stands alone at the defendant's table. His lawyer packs up his briefcase. You could have taken the prison deal, the lawyer says, would have been easier. No, Bradley says quietly. The judge is right. This is what I need. This is what I deserve. He looks around the empty courtroom. The weight of his actions crashes down on him fully now. The reality of what he has to do for the next 3 years, the humiliation, the confrontation, the hard work of earning back even a fraction of trust. But maybe, just maybe, it's possible. 8 weeks pass. It's Saturday morning, 5:55 a.m. The sun isn't up yet. Station 7 is quiet. A car pulls up. Bradley gets out. He's wearing jeans and a plain t-shirt. No uniform. No medals. No signs of rank. He carries a lunchbox. He looks tired. There are dark circles under his eyes. He walks to the door. He hesitates. This is the 15th Saturday he's shown up. It doesn't get easier. The door opens. Maria stands there. She's in her uniform. She's been on night shift. You're early, she says. Traffic was light. She nods. Trucks need washing. There's a bucket in the bay. Yes, ma'am. Bradley walks to the truck bay. He fills the bucket with soapy water. He starts washing the first truck. His back aches. His hands are raw from weeks of scrubbing, but he doesn't complain. He just works. Other firefighters start arriving for the day shift. They see Bradley. Some ignore him. Some watch him with hard eyes. One of them, James Chen, stops. You missed a spot, James says, pointing to the truck. Bradley looks. Where? Right there, the wheel well. Bradley bends down. He scrubs the wheel well again. He looks up. Better? James examines it. He nods once. Then he walks away. It's not forgiveness. Not yet. But it's not hatred either. It's something in between. Acknowledgement, maybe, that Bradley is here, that he's doing the work. Maria comes out to the bay. When you're done with the trucks, the bathrooms need cleaning. Then the kitchen. Then you're going to help me inventory all our equipment. We just got a shipment of new gear, paid for with the first restitution payment. New gear? SCBA units, top of the line, the best available. They arrived yesterday. Maria's voice softened slightly. James was here when they were delivered. He tested his 3 times to make sure it worked. Then he sat in the bay and cried. Bradley's face crumples. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I know you are. That's why you're here. That's why you show up every week. But Bradley, listen to me. Sorry isn't enough. It's never enough. You have to do more than apologize. You have to prove it. Every single day. I will. I promise. Maria studies him. She sees something she didn't see before. Genuine remorse. Real commitment. It's a start. Finish the trucks. Then come find me. She walks away. Bradley gets back to work. Later that morning, the station gets a call. House fire. The trucks roll out. Bradley stands in the bay, watching them go. He knows that route. He ran it 100 times. He knows what they're heading into. The fear, the adrenaline, the danger. And he knows they're going in with equipment he should have bought years ago. Equipment that's only now being replaced because he got caught. His chest tightens. He sits down on the bumper of the reserve truck. He pulls out his phone. He opens the video diary app. He records, Week 8, November 15th. The crew just rolled out on a structure fire. I'm sitting here in the bay, and all I can think about is James almost dying. About Tommy getting burned. About Maria losing faith in me. I spent $47,000 on a boat while they risked their lives every day. How did I let that happen? How did I become that person? He pauses. His voice shakes. I don't know if I'll ever forgive myself. I don't know if they'll ever forgive me. But I'm going to keep showing up. I'm going to keep doing the work. Because it's the least I can do. It's the absolute least. He stops recording. He puts his phone away. He stands up. He goes back to scrubbing toilets. This is his life now. Every Saturday, every Sunday, for 3 years, facing the consequences of his choices, working alongside the people he betrayed, trying to earn back something he never should have lost. 3 months later, Station 7 is holding its annual charity pancake breakfast. The parking lot is packed. Families line up. Kids run around. The smell of pancakes and bacon fills the air. Bradley stands at a griddle. He flips pancakes. He's wearing the vest. The bright orange vest that says Court-Ordered Community Service on the back. Everyone can see it. Everyone knows who he is and why he's here. A man walks up to him. The man is maybe 60. He looks familiar, but Bradley can't place him. You're Bradley Harmon, the man says. Yes, sir. I donated $500 to the charity run 2 years ago. My wife and I. We saved up for 3 months. Bradley's stomach drops. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. The man stares at him. I got your letter. You did? Yeah, handwritten. 3 pages. You explained what you did with the money. You apologized. You told me you're paying it back. Yes, sir, I am. Every month. It'll take me 15 years, but I'll pay back every penny. The man is quiet for a long moment. You know what made me the angriest? What? That you made me stop trusting. I used to donate to everything. Fire department, police, schools, food banks. I believed that money went where it was supposed to go. You took that from me. You made me cynical. Bradley can't look at him. I know, I'm sorry. But you know what? I'm here today. I'm donating again. You know why? Bradley looks up. Why? Because Lieutenant Santos called me, told me about the new oversight board, told me how every purchase is now tracked and posted online, told me how the firefighters are getting the equipment they need, told me how you're working every weekend to make it right. The man pauses. She said you'd be here. I wanted to see for myself. And what do you think? The man looks at the vest, at Bradley's face, at his hands covered in flour and grease from flipping pancakes. I think you're doing the work. I think it's going to take a long time, but I think maybe eventually you'll earn back some trust. He pulls out his wallet. He puts $100 in the donation jar. This is for the fire department, for equipment, for safety. Not for you, never for you. I understand. The man nods once and walks away. Bradley flips another pancake. His eyes are wet, but he keeps working. Maria appears beside him. I saw that. You called the donors? Some of them. The ones who wrote back to your letters. The ones who seemed open to hearing more. I wanted them to see what you're doing. Thank you. Don't thank me. I didn't do it for you. I did it for the department. We need donors. We need community support. And part of rebuilding trust is showing that justice was served, that you're being held accountable. I know. How many letters have you written? 843 so far. Lieutenant, can I ask you something? What? Do you think I'll ever be able to make this right? Maria considers the question carefully. No, not completely. Some things you can't fix. Some trust you can't earn back. But you can do better. You can be better. And maybe that's enough. 6 months into his sentence, Bradley stands in front of a group of Fire Academy cadets. There are 32 of them. Young men and women who want to be firefighters, who want to serve their communities, who have ideals and dreams and hope. Bradley used to give speeches to cadets, back when he was chief, back when he wore his uniform and his medals, back when they looked at him with respect. Now they look at him with something else. Curiosity, judgment, wariness. My name is Bradley Harmon, he begins. 15 years ago, I stood where you're standing. I was about to graduate from the academy. I was excited. I was proud. I couldn't wait to make a difference. He pauses. I did make a difference. For 28 years, I served my community. I ran into burning buildings. I saved lives. I led a team of brave men and women. I did good work. The cadets nod. They know his record. But I also did something else. I stole $170,000 from my own fire department. From my own crew, from the community that trusted me. I used that money to buy things I didn't need while my firefighters risked their lives with equipment that could fail them, and I lied about it for years. The room is silent. I'm here today because a judge ordered me to be. I'm serving community service. I'm paying back the money. I'm doing everything I can to make it right. But some things can't be made right. Some harm can't be undone. He looks at each cadet. You're about to enter a profession built on trust. When someone calls 911, they trust you'll come. When you tell them you'll save them, they trust you will. When the community supports you, they trust you'll use that support wisely. That trust is sacred. It's the foundation of everything we do. Bradley's voice gets stronger. I violated that trust, and in doing so, I endangered lives. I hurt people who counted on me. I damaged the reputation of every firefighter in this city. One person's bad choices can have ripple effects that spread far and wide. So here's what I want you to remember. You're going to face temptations in your career, opportunities to take shortcuts, to bend rules, to put yourself first. And in those moments, you have to choose. Who do you want to be? The person who serves or the person who takes? I made the wrong choice over and over again, and now I'm paying for it. Not just in money, not just in community service, but in reputation, in relationships, in the ability to ever do the job I loved again. I gave it all up for a boat, for a pool, for things that meant nothing compared to what I lost. He steps forward. Don't be me. Be better than I was. When you put on that uniform, remember it's not just clothing. It's a promise, a commitment, a responsibility. Honor it. Protect it. Never, ever take it for granted. The cadets sit in silence for a moment after he finishes. Then one raises her hand. Yes? Do you think you can ever really make up for what you did? Bradley considers the question honestly. No, I don't think I can. But I think I have to try anyway, because the alternative is giving up. And I owe it to everyone I hurt to never give up. Another hand. What would you say to the firefighters you worked with? I stayed every Saturday and Sunday when I show up to scrub their toilets and wash their trucks. I say I'm sorry. I say I was wrong. I say I'm trying to be better. Sometimes they listen. Sometimes they don't. But I keep saying it because it's the truth. The instructor stands. Thank you, Mr. Harmon. Cadets, you're dismissed. The cadets file out. A few look back at Bradley. They're thinking about what he said. They're imagining themselves in his position. They're promising themselves they'll never make his mistakes. That's exactly what Bradley hopes for. 1 year passes. Bradley has written 1,847 letters. Every single donor. Some wrote back. Most didn't. Some were kind. Some were furious. All deserved their reaction. He's completed 1,200 hours of community service. He's washed trucks 104 times. He's scrubbed toilets more times than he can count. He's helped at dozens of fundraising events. He's given speeches to fire cadets, high school students, community groups, and anyone else who will listen. He's paid back $14,000. It's not much compared to what he owes. But it's something. It's proof he's trying. And slowly, very slowly, things are changing. James Chen doesn't avoid him anymore. They don't talk much. But sometimes James nods at him. Sometimes he says good morning. It's not friendship, but it's not hostility either. Tommy Rodriguez came back to visit the station. He saw Bradley cleaning. They talked for 5 minutes. Tommy said he's thinking about rejoining the department. Said seeing the new equipment and the changes made him believe things could be different. The rookie firefighters who've joined since Bradley left don't know him as Chief Harmon. They just know him as the guy who does community service, the guy with the orange vest, the guy who made a huge mistake and is trying to fix it. And Maria? Maria is different too. One Sunday, after Bradley finishes his work, she calls him into her office. Sit down. He sits. He's nervous. Did he do something wrong? I've been reviewing your video diaries. The court sent me access. Oh, you've been honest in them, vulnerable. You've talked about things I didn't know, about the pressure you felt as chief, about the financial stress, about feeling like you weren't appreciated. None of that excuses what you did, but it helps me understand. Bradley nods slowly. I've also been talking to the crew about how you're doing, whether you're actually changing or just going through the motions. And what did they say? Mixed opinions. Some think you're learning. Some think you're just serving your time. Some don't care either way, but you know what I think? What? I think you're trying. I think this has been one of the hardest years of your life. I think you wake up every Saturday dreading coming here, but you come anyway. You do the work. You don't complain. You don't make excuses. You face us, and that takes courage. Bradley feels his throat tighten. Thank you. I'm not saying you're forgiven. I'm not saying everything is okay, but I'm saying I see the effort, and effort matters. She slides a piece of paper across the desk. This is from the oversight board. They want your input on new equipment purchases. Bradley's eyes widen. What? Why? Because you have 28 years of experience, because you know what works and what doesn't, because your knowledge is valuable, even if your judgment was flawed. They want your recommendations, not your approval, not your decision, just your input. I don't know if I should. I told them you'd do it, because part of making things right is using what you know to help. So look at this equipment list. Write down your thoughts. Send it to the board. They'll decide what to do with it. Bradley takes the paper with shaking hands. I'll do my best. I know you will. You can go now. See you next Saturday. He stands to leave. At the door, he turns back. Lieutenant Santos? Yes. Why are you doing this? Why are you giving me chances? Maria leans back in her chair. Because someone gave me a chance once. When I was a rookie, I made a mistake. A bad one. I froze during a rescue. Nearly got someone killed. My chief could have drummed me out. Instead, he worked with me. Trained me. Helped me become better. That chief was you, Bradley. Bradley's eyes fill with tears. He'd forgotten about that. It was so long ago. You taught me that people deserve second chances if they're willing to work for them. So now I'm giving you the same chance you once gave me. Don't waste it. 2 years pass. Bradley Harmon stands in Providence Municipal Court again. Same courtroom, same judge, but everything is different now. He's completed 2,500 hours of community service. Every single one documented. Every single one verified. He scrubbed floors until his knees ached. He's washed trucks in freezing winter and blazing summer. He's flipped thousands of pancakes. He's written 1,847 letters and given 72 speeches. He's paid back $45,000. He has a payment plan for the remaining $125,000 that will take him 13 more years. Judge Frank Caprio sits at his bench. Maria Santos sits in the front row. James Chen is next to her. Tommy Rodriguez, back in the department now, sits on her other side. Other firefighters fill the rest of the front rows. This is Bradley's final review hearing, the one that will determine if his probation ends or if he goes to prison for violating terms. Mr. Harmon, Judge Caprio begins, 3 years ago, you stood in this courtroom and admitted to stealing $170,000 from your fire department. I sentenced you to probation with extensive community service requirements. Today, we review whether you fulfilled those requirements and learned from your actions. Yes, Your Honor. I've reviewed all the documentation. Your service hours are complete. Your letters were sent. Your speeches were given. Your payments are on schedule. You violated no terms of probation. From a technical standpoint, you've done everything required. Bradley waits. There's a but coming. But technical compliance isn't what I'm most interested in. I want to know if you changed, if you understand the weight of what you did, if you become a better person, so I'm going to ask the people who know best. Judge Caprio looks at Maria. Lieutenant Santos, you supervised Mr. Harmon for 3 years. You saw him every single weekend. You reviewed his work. You watched him at fundraising events. You read his video diaries. In your professional opinion, has Bradley Harmon changed? Maria stands. She's thought about this question for weeks. She takes a deep breath. Your Honor, when you first sentenced Bradley, I was angry. I thought 3 years of community service wasn't enough. I thought he should go to prison. I thought he should lose everything. And in a way, he did. He lost his career, his reputation, his dignity, the respect of everyone he'd ever worked with. But, the judge prompts. But over 3 years, I watched him show up. Every single Saturday and Sunday, no matter what. Even when he was sick. Even when his car broke down and he had to take the bus. Even when firefighters were hostile to him. Even when donors yelled at him at fundraising events, he showed up. He did the work. He never complained. Maria's voice gets stronger. I watched him write those letters. I reviewed every single one. Some took him hours because he wanted to get the words right. He cried while writing some of them. He researched the donors, learned about their lives, tried to understand what his betrayal meant to them specifically. I watched him give speeches. At first, they were stiff, rehearsed, but over time, they became real. He stopped just reciting facts and started sharing feelings. He talked about his shame, his regret, his daily struggle to forgive himself. He became vulnerable in a way that's incredibly hard for someone like him. Maria looks at Bradley. 3 years ago, I thought Bradley Harmon was a selfish, greedy man who cared more about things than people. Today, I think he's someone who made terrible choices, faced real consequences, and did the hard work of change. He's not the same person he was. He's humbler, more aware, more empathetic. Judge Caprio nods. Do you trust him? Long pause. I trust that he understands what he did wrong. I trust that he's genuinely sorry. I trust that he's working to be better. Do I trust him in a position of authority over public funds? No, not yet. Maybe never. But do I trust that he's changed as a person? Yes, I do. Thank you, Lieutenant. Firefighter Chen, you almost died because of equipment that should have been replaced. You have nightmares about suffocating. How do you feel about Mr. Harmon today? James stands. He looks at Bradley. I was so angry for so long. Every time I checked my equipment before a call, I thought about him. Every time I woke up from a nightmare, I blamed him. And I was right to feel that way. He betrayed us. He endangered our lives. But anger is exhausting. Hate is heavy. And watching Bradley show up every week, seeing him do the work, reading the letter he wrote me specifically apologizing for what happened, it made it harder to stay angry. He didn't make excuses. He didn't try to minimize it. He owned it completely. James' voice cracked slightly. Last month, I was at the station when Bradley was there. A call came in. Structure fire. Bad one. As we were rolling out, Bradley stopped me. He said, "Stay safe. Check your equipment. I'll be here when we get back." And I realized something. He cared. He actually cared whether I made it back safely. That doesn't erase what he did. Nothing can. But it showed me that people can change. That someone who caused harm can genuinely want to prevent future harm. So yeah, I think he's changed. I think he's learned. And I think if he keeps working at it, maybe someday I can fully forgive him. Judge Caprio listens carefully. He turns to Bradley. "Mr. Harmon, you've heard from the people you heard. What do you have to say?" Bradley stands. His hands tremble slightly. "Your Honor, 3 years ago, you gave me a choice. Go to prison or face my victims every single week. At the time, I thought prison might be easier. I was wrong. This was harder than anything I've ever done. Harder than any fire I ever fought. Harder than any rescue I ever performed. Every Saturday, I drove to that station dreading what I'd face. Hostile looks. Angry words. The weight of my own guilt. Every Sunday, I went home exhausted. Not physically, though the work was hard. Emotionally. Mentally. Spiritually. But you know what? It was exactly what I needed. Because if I'd gone to prison, I could have blamed the system. I could have felt sorry for myself. I could have avoided confronting the actual harm I caused. This way, I had to face it. Every single week, I had to see the people I hurt. I had to hear their stories. I had to witness the consequences of my actions. Bradley's voice gets stronger. I learned things about myself I didn't want to know. That I was selfish. That I felt entitled. That I valued things more than people. That I was willing to rationalize terrible behavior because it benefited me. Those are hard truths. Ugly truths. But they're true. I also learned that change is possible. That if you're willing to do the work to really do it, you can become better. Not perfect. Not without flaws. But better. More aware. More compassionate. More committed to doing right. I'll never fully repair the damage I caused. I'll never get back what I lost. But I can keep trying. I can keep showing up. I can keep using my story to help others avoid my mistakes. I can keep paying back the money. I can keep working to earn back even a fraction of the trust I destroyed. Judge Caprio studies him for a long moment. "Mr. Harmon, you're free to go." "Your Honor? Your probation is complete. You fulfilled all requirements. You're no longer under court supervision. However, your restitution payments continue until the full amount is paid. If you miss a payment, you'll be in contempt and face jail time. Do you understand?" "Yes, Your Honor. I won't miss a payment." "I believe you, because I've watched your journey. I've read every report. I've watched your video diaries. I've seen someone who was broken by their own actions work incredibly hard to rebuild themselves. That's not common. Most people make excuses. Most people blame others. Most people try to avoid consequences. You face them head on." Judge Caprio stands. "Mr. Harmon, you lost your career. You lost your reputation. You lost the respect of your peers. Those losses are permanent. You'll never be fire chief again. You'll never hold public office. You'll carry the stigma of what you did for the rest of your life. That's justice. But you also gained something. Self-awareness. Humility. Empathy. The knowledge that you can change, that you can grow, that you can become better than you were. That's redemption. Not complete redemption. Not total forgiveness, but a start." The judge walks to the front of his bench. "To the firefighters of Station 7, thank you for your service. Thank you for your courage in testifying. Thank you for your willingness to give Mr. Harmon a chance to make things right. You showed this community what true strength looks like. It's not just running into fires. It's standing up for what's right even when it's hard." He looks at everyone in the courtroom. This case teaches us something important. That betrayal of trust is one of the worst crimes. That people in positions of authority must be held to the highest standards. That consequences matter. but also that change is possible. That if someone is willing to do the real work, to face their victims, to take responsibility, to make amends over years, not days, they can become better. Let this case be a reminder to public servants, your communities trust you. Honor that trust. To donors, your generosity matters. Demand transparency. To everyone, we all make mistakes. What matters is how we respond when we do. Do we run? Do we hide? Do we make excuses? Or do we face the harm we caused and work tirelessly to make it right? Judge Caprio returns to his bench. This court is adjourned. The gavel bangs. Bradley stands still for a moment. It's over. 3 years of community service. 3 years of facing his victims. 3 years of the hardest work he's ever done. And now it's done. But not really, because he still has 13 years of payments. He still has a damaged reputation. He still has relationships to repair. The work isn't over. It's just beginning in a different way. Maria approaches him. She extends her hand. Good luck, Bradley. He shakes it. Thank you. For everything. For supervising me. For believing I could change. For giving me a chance. You earned it. Every bit of it. What are you going to do now? Keep paying back the money. Keep giving speeches if people want to hear them. Keep trying to be better. Maybe get a job where I can use my skills without being in a position of authority. Maybe volunteer. I don't know exactly. But I know I can't go backward. I can only go forward. James Chen approaches next. He doesn't shake Bradley's hand, but he looks him in the eye. I'm glad you changed. I'm glad the system worked. But Bradley, if you ever betray trust again, there won't be another chance. You understand that? I understand, and I promised I'll spend the rest of my life proving this change is real. Tommy Rodriguez is last, the rookie who quit and came back. Hey, Chief. Mr. Harmon. Bradley. You can call me whatever you want, Tommy. I want to say something. When I quit, I lost faith in everything. In the department. In leadership. In the system. But watching your case, watching you actually face consequences and change, it gave me faith back. Not in you specifically, but in the idea that justice can work, that people can be held accountable. That change is possible. So thanks for that. Tommy, I'm sorry I made you lose faith in the first place, but I'm glad you came back. The department needs good firefighters like you. The firefighters file out. The reporters sworn outside. The donors who came to watch nod in satisfaction. Justice was served. Not perfectly, but adequately. Bradley walks out of the courthouse alone. It's sunny outside, warm, a beautiful day. He pulls out his phone. He opens his video diary app one last time. Final entry. 3 years complete. Probation ended. I did it. I survived. But more than that, I changed. I'm not the person I was when this started. I'm not the person who stole from his own crew. I'm not the person who valued things more than people. I'm someone who understands the weight of betrayal. Who knows that trust is sacred. Who will spend the rest of his life trying to be worthy of second chances. He stops recording. He deletes the app. He doesn't need it anymore. He gets in his car. He drives away from the courthouse. Not toward home. Toward Station 7. He parks outside. He sits for a moment. Then he gets out and walks to the door. Maria is in her office. She sees him through the window. She comes to the door. Bradley, what are you doing here? You're done. You don't have to come back. I know, but I wanted to ask you something. Do you think the station could use a volunteer? Someone to help with administrative work? Filing? Organizing? Helping plan fundraising events? No authority. No access to money. Just helping out. I wouldn't get paid. I'd just be giving back. Maria considers this. Let me talk to the crew. See how they feel about it. No promises. That's fair. I'll wait to hear from you. He turns to leave. Maria calls after him. Bradley, you really have changed, haven't you? He looks back. I hope so, Lieutenant. I really hope so. 5 years later. Station 7 is celebrating its 100th anniversary. There's a party. Community members, current firefighters, retired firefighters. Everyone who ever worked there or loved someone who did. Bradley attends as a guest, not as chief, not as a firefighter, just as someone with a connection to the place. He brings his wife. They divorced during the scandal but recently reconciled. It took years of therapy and rebuilding trust, but they made it work. He sees Maria across the room. She's a captain now, running her own station. She waves him over. "Bradley, thanks for coming. Thanks for inviting me. How's the new job?" "Good. I'm teaching fire safety to elementary school kids. No authority over money. No position of public trust. Just educating kids about smoke detectors and escape plans. It's fulfilling." "And the payments?" "On schedule. 8 more years to go. Never missed one. Never will." Maria smiles. "I'm proud of you. I know that sounds weird given everything, but I am. You took the hardest road possible. You didn't have to. You could have just served your time and disappeared. Instead, you stayed. You faced everyone. You changed." "I had a good supervisor, someone who believed in accountability and second chances equally." "Thank you, Maria, for everything." James Chen appears with a beer in hand. "Hey, did you two see the new plaque?" "What plaque?" Bradley asks. James leads them to the wall near the entrance. There's a new bronze plaque. It reads, "In memory of trust betrayed and rebuilt. Station 7 Equipment Fund established 2022. All donations overseen by independent board. All purchases publicly documented. All firefighters properly equipped. Because every life matters. Every dollar counts. Every person deserves leaders they can trust." Below that, in smaller letters, "Trust is earned, slowly, carefully. Honestly, once broken, it may never fully repair, but we keep trying anyway." Bradley reads it twice. His throat tightens. "This is because of what I did." "Yes," Maria says, "but it's also because of what we did. We stood up. We demanded better. We changed the system. Your betrayal was the spark. Our response was the fire. And what we built from the ashes is stronger than what existed before." James adds, "Every new firefighter who joins learns about your case, about what happened, about the consequences, about the changes we made. You're a cautionary tale, Bradley, but also a story about redemption, about facing consequences, about changing." Bradley stares at the plaque. His actions hurt so many people, but in a strange way, they also led to something better. Better oversight, better transparency, better protection for future firefighters. His betrayal accidentally became a catalyst for positive change. That doesn't make what he did right. It never will, but it's something. The party continues. Laughter fills the station. Stories are shared. Old firefighters shake hands with new ones. The community celebrates a century of service. And Bradley Harmon, former fire chief, convicted thief, and rehabilitated man, sits quietly in the corner. He watches the firefighters who once trusted him, who once despised him, who eventually gave him a chance to change. He thinks about the journey, the pain, the growth, the lessons learned at terrible cost. And he thinks about the future, about 8 more years of payments, about teaching kids fire safety, about volunteering where he can, about being a better person than he was. It's not the life he imagined when he first put on a fire department uniform 33 years ago, but it's a life he's earned through hard work and genuine change. That's something. That's enough. Judge Frank Caprio sits in his chambers that same evening. He's alone. The courthouse is quiet. He pulls out the Harmon file. He reads through it one more time. He thinks about all the cases he's handled. Thousands of them. Most were straightforward. Fine paid. Lesson learned. Done. But this one was different. This one required creativity. Compassion mixed with strictness. A punishment that was really rehabilitation. Justice that included the possibility of redemption. Did it work? He thinks so. He hopes so. Bradley Harmon isn't perfect. He'll carry the weight of his crimes forever. But he's better. He changed. He grew. He learned. And maybe that's the best any justice system can hope for. Not just punishment. Not just consequences. But actual change. Real growth. Genuine transformation. Judge Caprio closes the file. He makes a note in the margin in his careful handwriting. Trust broken can sometimes be partially rebuilt, but only with time, work, and genuine change. The effort matters as much as the outcome. He files the folder away. He turns off the light. He goes home to his family. Another day, another case, another chance to balance justice with mercy, accountability with redemption, punishment with hope. That's the work. That's always been the work. And it's work worth doing. Money can buy many things. It can buy boats and pools and motorcycles. It can buy comfort and luxury and status. But money cannot buy back trust. It cannot undo harm. It cannot erase betrayal. And in Judge Frank Caprio's courtroom, it definitely cannot buy justice. Real justice is complex. It's accountability in consequences. It's also second chances and transformation. It's facing the people you hurt. It's doing the hard work of change. It's proving over years, not days, that you're better than your worst choices. Bradley Harmon learned that lesson the hard way, in front of his victims, week after week, year after year, with no shortcuts, no easy outs, just hard, painful, necessary work. And in the end, he emerged changed. Not forgiven by everyone, not restored to his former position, but better, more aware, more humble, more committed to using his story to help others avoid his mistakes. That's the kind of justice that matters, the kind that doesn't just punish, the kind that transforms, the kind that makes communities stronger and people better. Because in the end, that's what justice is really about. Not revenge, not just consequences, but creating a world where people take responsibility, make amends, and work tirelessly to be better than they were. That's the legacy of Bradley Harmon. That's the lesson of this case. That's the hope we all should hold on to. People can change. Justice can work. Redemption is possible. But only if we're willing to do the work.